Hi there, everybody.
Hi.
Wow, that was really bad. Let me give you another try. Hi there, everybody.
Hi.
Much better. How we doing today? Good. Are we all excited for a story? Shout out the name of your favorite story. Go. Every show someone's like, the proposal, I'm relevant and funny. Come on. We're going to list all of the IMDb for Ryan Reynolds this show. Now, then the rest of you said Deadpool, which lacks creativity. So we're just going to go with Disney scheduled. This story is a personal favorite of mine. It is a beloved bedtime classic, and it was mashed up with a very profitable licensing agreement. This story is Cinderpool. Thank you. Yeah, that was an applause cue, everybody. Oh, goodness. It's going to be like pulling teeth, this show. I can already feel it. Astigmatism is not a laughing matter, people. Once upon a time. You know, it just doesn't feel right when I do it with myself. We should all say those magical words together. Ready?
Once upon a time.
Someone over here was really committed to that. That was good. Thank you. Oh, the rest of you, get up to that level. Cinderpool lived in a big mansion with his step professor and step mutants. The biggest of those step mutants, Colossus, was always making up silly rules around the house. He would say things like, stop putting your initials on other people's leftovers in the fridge. And for the love of Feige, would you stop Donald ducking around the house? Put some pants on. What is wrong with you? Anyway, the other main step mutant, Negasonic Teenage Warhead, who has 7 fans here today, was always texting and rolling her eyes. She was so Gen Z. Oh. Both of these step mutants were very jealous of Cinderpool because Cinderpool had a much larger fan base than they did. Yeah, thank you. No one came to Colossus's show. One day, an expendable, non-union extra went running in front of the mansion screaming. King Thanos was going to have the biggest battle of Phase 3. And we all know that was the last good phase. Cinderpool desperately wanted to go to that battle. But Colossus said,
no. It is too dangerous, and you are not a good part of the team.
Then he rips apart Cinderpool's favorite costume, and Negasonic blasts it with her powers. It was so cool, so Gen Z, so on fleek, no cap sigma, skibbity Ohio. There's children crying over here. I did it all wrong. Cinderpool was devastated, vulnerable and exposed as he stumbled out onto the mansion grounds, weeping, desperately trying to earn that Oscar. But then he looked up and saw, beginning to form, a magical golden sparkle circle. And out of that sparkle circle stepped his very hairy god mutant, Wolverine! Due to casting issues, part of Wolverine will be performed by a much more talented and better looking performer, me. Shut up, Bob. It's the best you're gonna get. Oh, very goddamn Wolverine! I desperately want to go to that big battle, but my mean step mutants destroyed my costume. Stop whining. Find yourself a new costume. Something that fits nice and snug. Oh, Wolvie, stop. So Cinderpool ran to the wardrobe department, grabbed a new, freshly laundered costume, and headed to the big battle. He missed most of it because he stopped for some chimichangas at the local 7-Eleven along the way. But 7-Eleven doesn't sell chimichangas anymore, so he had to go to 3 other gas stations, and let me tell you, something strange is afoot at Circle K. But when he got there, the Avengers were winning. Captain America looked so good in those pants. Yeah, right? He looked for his fairy god mutant Wolverine, but Disney hadn't bought the rights to him yet. He surveyed the battlefield and noticed right there on the stairs of the alien ship a single glove. He went over and picked that glove up. Here's a high five. There you go. It was beautiful, gold encrusted with colorful jewels. There were 6 of them. I don't know if that's relevant. But he said, "I wonder who this fits," and put it on. After some buzzing, whirring, and clicking, it was a perfect fit. But then all the Avengers look over and they start screaming, "Cinderpool, take that thing off. You're going to hurt yourself." Thor started crying. Yeah. And all together they said, "Cinderpool, do not snap." So we all know what Cinderpool did. Cinderpool snapped. Both figuratively and mentally, kept doing it over and over. Just people are disappearing, reappearing. Dogs are falling out of the sky. It was really expensive for the VFX department. But eventually Cinderpool stopped. Everybody was back. And Cinderpool was the hero who saved the universe. Then, all the Avengers tackle Cinderpool to the ground, rip the glove off of his hand, blah, blah, blah. Years later, when they remake the film, they AI Tony Stark's head onto my beautiful body. And it goes on to become the most profitable film in the Feige universe, the FCU. But it's okay, because Cinderpool went on to start his own film franchise, which breaks box office records. All right, thank you. And then they had to invite Cinderpool back to the Avengers Endgame 2, Electric Boogaloo. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the true story of how Cinderpool became the belle of the Avengers Ball. Thank you all so much. I know we started with a Cinderella story and just went way off the rails, but we enjoyed the ride. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and thank you for joining me here with Storytime with Deadpool. Most of you were terrific. Those of you who are not know who you are. All right. Bye, everybody. Hi there, everybody. How we doing? Very nice. Isn't it just beautiful today out here, huh? Yeah, I'm excited. California finally went back to having one season, just like all the new shows on Disney+. Yeah, shots fired. All right, is everybody excited for the final story of the day? Shout out the name of your favorite stories.
The Proposal.
All right. Wow, I heard The Proposal, which is lacking in creativity, as well as Deadpool. All right, I think I heard one person say it. I'm going to do my personal favorite story. This is a beloved bedtime classic, and it's free use, so Disney can't be sued. Yeah, this story is Little Red Deadpool. Okay, everybody, that was an applause cue. Everybody's supposed to cheer. It's too late now. Wait for the next one. All right. Astigmatism is no laughing matter, people. Once upon a time, you know, it just doesn't feel right when I do that with myself. We should all say those magical words together. Ready?
Once upon a time.
I said together. that was bad. I'm just gonna do it myself. Once upon a time, little red Deadpool set off into the woods to bring her sickly old grandmother a delicious basket of churros. You see, Grandma was a real misanthrope who lived in the middle of a dark, scary forest in a beat-up old cottage. Not in a nice, clean, assisted living facility like where most of our meemaws are forced to live against their will. This seems dangerous, Little Red thought to herself, but she ventured off into the woods anyway, so that children could learn from her mistakes for hundreds of years to come. It's a real after-school special kind of cautionary tale. Little red Deadpool skipped merrily through the forest, right past a whole bunch of unnecessary exposition, and arrived at Grandma's cottage. She opened the door to find her grandmama laying in a beautiful four-poster old-timey mahogany bed. I mean, this thing was hand-carved, just a masterpiece. Grandma! I've brought you a basket of churros! Grandma looked super weird. And it wasn't because she was overusing those weight loss drugs, Ozempic. No, it's because Grandma was secretly the big bad wolfie in disguise. Little delayed, but we got there. Grandma! What blue eye contacts you have? They're canon. And Grandma, what a retro comic accurate yellow costume you finally have! Shut up, Bub. And Grandma, what big claws you have! Are those vibranium? No, they're adamantium. Shing! Grandma's not Australian! At that moment, Little Red breaks off a piece of churro, drops the basket, whips off her cloak, eats the churro for the delicious sugary energy, and then brings down her katanas in an X formation. Oh no, it's not an Easter egg or anything, it's just a cool stylistic choice. Little Red looks over at Wolvie and says, "Bring it on, Peanut!" They action leaped at each other. It was a huge fight. There were broken pieces of furniture everywhere, but nobody touched that mahogany bed. Again, masterpiece. The claws and katanas ripped through the mattress, sending CGI hay everywhere. Which is weird because regular hay is so much cheaper to use. But we are owned by Disney now, so spend that money. Eventually, both of the fighters grew exhausted from the mutually beneficial climax of the fight, and they stumbled down onto the ground. Little Red looked over at Wolvie. "Churro?" He offered it in his regular voice because falsettos are hard and I'm starting to get lightheaded. Yeah, so they shared that churro. They shared that churro Lady and the Tramp style as they looked around at all the destruction and pretended to see CGI hay. Little Red turned to Wolvie again and said, "You know, I bet we could fix this place up real nice. Grandma's probably willing to sell it. Gee, where is Grandma anyway?" "She's, on vacation." "Oh, that's not ominous or foreboding at all. In fact, I trust you fully. Do you want to be roommates?" "Yeah." And so they were roommates. That's right. Little Red took the top bunk and Wolvie was the bottom. And they went on to live happily ever after. And the moral of that story, ladies and gentlemen, is honestly, get to know your grandmother. Really? You can't tell the difference between some decrepit old woman in a bed and a huge jacked man? A Hugh Jackman. There it is. Some of you took the second time to get it. Thank you all so much for joining me here for the final story. It's been a pleasure. I have absolutely nothing else planned in about an hour, so don't go looking for me in that general direction. But until later, thank you all for joining me for Story Time with Deadpool. Thank you all. Have a wonderful day. All right, let's go. Bye now. Thank you all so much. I'm a little sad that the cheering died down partway through, but you can make up for it right now. Very good. Thank you all so much for joining me here for the very first Story Time with Deadpool of the day. Are we all having a wonderful time? The most magical day here. I get paid an extra 50 cents every time I make that reference. So. All right, well, today we are going to do my personal favorite story. This story is full of action, romance. I also would have accepted, well, it's too late now. And this story is guaranteed to be in strong consideration for an award at the end of the calendar year. This story is Beauty Pool and the Wolver Beast. Yeah, a little teaser for you there, huh? Yeah, you figured it out. Good for you. Here we go. Once upon a time, you know, it just doesn't feel right when I do it by myself. We should all say those magical words together. Ready?
Once upon a time.
That was mediocre. Once upon a time, I was walking along, captivated by my favorite book, the autobiography of Ryan Reynolds. When suddenly I heard the galloping of my father's horse, Philippe. It's interactive, yeah. You see, my father had left for the fair earlier that day. And now, here was Philippe, my father, no longer in the saddle. Yeah, we're figuring it out. I went to Philippe, grabbed him by his muzzle, and said, "Oh, Philippe, where is Papa? Is he in some kind of trouble?" I said this like he was some sort of television horse that could understand and respond in English. But he's not. He's just a real horse, so he whinnied. I don't speak horse, so I just mounted his back and shouted, "Away to Papa, quickly!" And away we galloped. Very good. We're figuring it out. We went deep into the dark forest, and the galloping slowed. Or stopped. Okay. Suddenly, no, it's too late. Don't do it anymore. It was so dark in this forest. It was so scary. It was like, no, now you stepped on the joke. Now I gotta do it all again. It was dark. It was scary. It was like going to a Waffle House at 3 a.m. on a Tuesday.
Yeah! Oh my God!
But suddenly we came upon a clearing. And out of the mist arose an enchanted mansion. It was Professor Xavier's school for gifted youngsters. I dismounted Philippe and sent him on his way because I knew who. Okay, the horse is still going. Bye, Philippe. All right. I knew who lived in this mansion. It was the horrible, the hairy. Hey, our special special guest is here, everybody. All right. Hey, whoa.
Come on, we got time for stories, Bo. Let's go.
Hey, this isn't for me, Wolfie. This is a special moment for everybody. They never know when you're going to be here. Stand right here, okay? And let's take pictures like it's prom.
I don't. Come on, we gotta go.
No, Wolfie! This story is for the kids. And apparently that really excited woman over there. Yeah.
Fine. I'm doing this for you.
That was very unspecific. Which kid was it?
I All right. Shut up.
Perfect. Don't tell me what to do.
Get up. So, well,
Beauty pool.
I'm not saying beauty pool.
You just said it.
I don't know why I agreed to come here. Beauty pool does a little B&E and meets a bunch of weirdos who are furniture and dishes.
And cutlery. It's important they have a musical number partway through.
Anyway, then the real hero shows up. The Beast.
The Wolver Beast. Follow the rules of the parody here, man.
Anyway, Pool Boy over here makes a mess of things as usual. Then it's up to Wolverine to save the day. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. I slice up some bad guys, while Beauty Queen over here stands in the corner making a bunch of stupid jokes with outdated cultural references.
My jokes are not outdated. They are modern, hilarious, and culturally relevant, just like Splash Mountain. You really are sending things sideways here, Wolvie. You skipped the best parts of the story. You didn't mention Mrs. Potts and her little son Chip, Cogsworth, Lumiere. What about Chef Boosh? Yeah, that was a deep cut for all the Magic Key pass holders out there. Chef Boosh is the stove. Yeah, write that one down. And I mean, with you, come on, I expected a few bars of tale as old as time.
I said no musical theater.
No musical theater. What a pity. If you were a showman, you'd be the greatest.
I don't know what that means.
All right, well, clearly I'm touching on some nerves, so we'll just go ahead and wrap this up for his sake. The moral of the story, everybody, is don't open your door to strangers. Yeah, they might be a crazy, enchanted witch who will turn everyone in your house into furniture just for not letting them inside. That's a weird story, huh? Can't believe we read this to children. All right, well, I'll go ahead and let you say those magical words.
What words?
You know, the way that all the good Disney stories end. And don't any of you say a post-credit scene. All right, those are way overused, and they're only designed for the Feige universe, the FCU.
I'm out of here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was that too much fourth wall for you? Whatever, he's leaving. All right, well, for what it's worth, they all lived happily ever after. Well, that is until they released it later to VHS, and then nobody got residuals on it. The pay was terrible. Okay, fine. I hear the music getting louder. I'll go. Okay. Bye, everybody. Hi there, everybody. It's a pleasure for you all to be here to see me today. How's everybody doing today? Not a single real answer. Everybody just screamed, so I didn't really get much info from that. Well, is everybody ready for a story? Good. Shout out your favorite stories. Green Lantern, big fan of that choice. Yeah, everybody else who said Deadpool, real creative. Yeah, the proposal. Are we just going to go through Ryan Reynolds' IMDb right now? All right, now, you know what? We're going to do whatever I want to do because this, of course, is my show. I know, that's what you're all here for, right? Today's story is a beautiful bedtime tale and We already have the rights to it, so Disney won't be sued. This story is Cinderpool. Not enough of you cheered. Didn't give me good hope for what's coming. All right. It's fine, the katanas make it hard. Once upon a time, you know, it just doesn't feel right when I do that by myself. We should all say those magical words together. Ready?
Once upon a time.
I said together. That was not that. All right, I'll just do it myself. Once upon a time, Cinderpool lived in a big mansion with her step professor and step mutants. The biggest of those step mutants, Colossus, was always making up silly rules for the mansion, like make sure you close the window while the air conditioner is on, and for the love of Feige, stop hanging your underwear from the ceiling fan. What is wrong with you? Have you noticed? Anyway, the other step mutant, Negasonic Teenage Warhead, who has a few fans here, that's great. She was always texting and rolling her eyes. Oh, she was so Gen Z. Both of these step mutants were very jealous of Cinderpool because Cinderpool had a much, much larger fan base than them. One day, a non-union extra went running in front of the mansion screaming King Thanos was going to have the biggest battle of Phase 3. That's right, and we all know that was the last good phase. Cinderpool desperately wanted to go to the big battle, but Colossus said,
No. It is too dangerous, and you are not a good part of the team.
Then they ripped apart Cinderpool's favorite costume, and Negasonic blasted it with her mind powers. It was so cool, so Gen Z, so on fleek, no cap sigma. Cinderpool was distraught, vulnerable and exposed as she stumbled out onto the mansion grounds. But then Cinderpool looked up and saw, beginning to form, a magical sparkle circle. And out of that sparkle circle stepped Cinderpool's fairy god mutant. Out of the circle stepped, just go through the circle. It's easy, we covered this already. Fine, whatever. Wolverine! I love you. Oh, fairy god mutant Wolverine! I desperately want to go to the big battle, but my evil step mutants destroyed my costume. He said lovingly. What? I'm doing the story. You know, they destroy my costume. I can't go to the fight without one. Wave the little magic stick and...
Whatever. Go get another costume. Nobody can stop whining.
Well, with that sage life advice, Cinderpool ran to the wardrobe department, grabbed a new, freshly laundered costume, and headed to the big battle. Cinderpool was late, of course, because she stopped for chimichangas along the way at 7-Eleven. But 7-Eleven doesn't sell chimichangas anymore, so he had to go to 3 other gas stations. Anyway, when he got there, the Avengers were winning. That was quite the delay, huh? Yeah. Captain America looked so good in those pants. That was a faster response. Cinderpool looked for the fairy god mutant Wolverine, who was...
I'm going to Pibbs.
Pick up some milk. He's not coming back with that milk. Cinderpool looked around as the aliens were running away, and then noticed on the stairs of a spaceship a single glove. Cinderpool picked that glove up, waved to this nice camera, and admired the beautiful thing. It was gold, encrusted with colorful jewels. There were 6 of them. I don't think that's important. Cinderpool said, I wonder who this fits, and put it on. There were like 3 gaps. I was just kidding. After some buzzing, whirring, and clicking, it was a perfect fit. Then Tony Stark looks over and starts yelling, "No! Take that thing off!" And then all the other Avengers start making noise too, but you can't hear him over Tony, who's just going, "No! I don't want to be in this universe as Tony Stark anymore! If I have to come back, I'll be doomed!" Yeah, half of you who are clapping don't get the joke. Just, yeah. But then all the Avengers at the same time yell, "Cinderpool, do not snap!" I said the Avengers yelled it, not you. No key or cheese. But you know what Cinderpool does. Cinderpool snapped. Cinderpool snapped physically and mentally over and over and over. People were disappearing, reappearing. Dogs were falling out of the sky. It was very expensive for the VFX department. But eventually Cinderpool stopped. Everybody was back. Cinderpool had saved the universe. Then all the Avengers tackle Cinderpool to the ground, rip the glove right off, and then blah, blah, blah. They remake the film years later. Tony Stark is the big sacrificial hero, and it goes on to become the most profitable film in the Feige universe, the FCU. But it's okay, because Cinderpool went on to start his own film franchise, which breaks box office records. And they had to invite Cinderpool back to the Avengers Endgame 2, Electric Boogaloo. And that, everybody, is the real story, the end game. I played with the end a little bit to make it dramatic. Thank you all so much for joining me here for Storytime with Deadpool. Have a wonderful day. Thank you all so much. You're all so good, except for a few of you, but you can figure out who it was. All right.
From my outfit, it's that time of the year again, everyone. I have been hitting the eggnog extra hard to get into the holiday spirit. Who's ready for yet another holiday-themed tale full of Yuletide cheer? Oh, well, that's very good to hear. Today's story is a classic holiday tale filled with good and evil, also filled with so much greed. A 4-poster bed, and a bunch of just hideous mutants, all right? It's going to be a very enjoyable story for all of us. All right, for today's story, we travel all the way back in time to jolly old England for a dignified holiday tale by Sir Mr. Xavier Charles Dickens, Jr. And brought to you by Disney Plus! Yeah, that's right, everyone. Disney Plus paid to keep little old Storytime around for the holidays. Finally, a streaming service that understands quality content. Disney Plus. All right, let's get started, shall we? I am very excited for this Christmas story because I don't normally get to sink my teeth into something so joyous and happy. This is very exciting to read something lighthearted for once. Marley was dead. All right, that is a very dark start to a holiday tale. I don't think Disney Plus signed up for all of that. Let me just skip ahead to the less morbid parts, okay? Here's a very lighthearted sentence. The meanest old curmudgeon in all of London town was a vile, ugly, mischievous, hairy, smelly, prickly, miserly old brute by the name Loganezer Scrooge. Old Scroogey did not like the holidays and always ran around saying, "Bah humbug, bub." He had a very handsome, very charming, very funny, although a bit of an acquired taste, employee by the name Wade Cratchit. Poole. Yeah, Wade Cratchit Poole, actually. He was a very nice employee. Unfortunately, he just wanted to enjoy the holiday season and have a single day off in his entire career. But old Scroogey was always like, "Get back to work, bub, and count me money." He was really not a nice mutant. And did I also mention he was miserly and ugly and smelly? And also somewhat Australian in a certain way. Look, everyone! It's the hideous Loganezer Scrooge! No, stop. Do not cheer him. He's the villain of this story. Boo him!
Whoa. Okay. All right, I get it. You're doing a Christmas.
Shh. Hush your beautiful mouth, Wolvie. We are not allowed to say the name of the show. We don't have the rights to that yet.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, none of this really does. The writing on this whole shtick has probably run its course at this point. We were supposed to be like this limited time magic thing for the summer, but now we just won't go away. Yeah, that's right. Just like those weird popcorn buckets with the enormous mouths. Anyway, the good news, Wolvie, is that you are the shining, shimmering star upon this Christmas tree. You have way more lines this time. Here, take a seat.
I don't think so.
Oh, come on. Don't we all want Wolvie to join us for a special holiday treat?
Right. Fine.
All right, you're already halfway into character, you old grump. Here's the hat.
Absolutely not.
Well, that's all right. I don't think it really would have fit over your
Okay.
pointy elf ears
All
anyway.
right, let's just get to the story. Come on.
All right, that's the spirit. Old Loganezer is told by his dead partner that he'll be visited by 3 ghosts who will help him restore the spirit of the season.
Okay, I'm aware of the story. All right. One ghost tells Scrooge he needs to learn to accept the past. The other one tells him.
All right, easy. Slow down, my chum. We got a couple minutes to fill here, all right? Sure, the first ghost shows Scroogey his sad past, his sad origins, if you will. And then the ghost of Christmas present shows up, and it's just this giant, child-minded figure way larger than a normal man should be, body made completely out of muscle, metal and muscly metal, really, and had a very obnoxious Russian accent. Here, I'll impersonate it for you.
Oh, please do.
Loganezer, gaze upon the Cratchit Pool family and see your shame. Look at all that shame out there. He shows them a beautiful picture of the Cratchit Pool family. Blind Owl, Dog Pool, and little tiny Pizza Pool, who was obviously sickeningly ill and leaning on a small crutch. He could barely get by on the meager salary that Wade's boss was giving him.
Humbug.
That is not at all the right place to say that line. You were supposed to say that like 3 pages ago.
Okay, I'm getting bored. All right, let's keep this going.
No, you must look upon this poor sad family and finally feel one true emotion. A single salty tear trickles down your chiseled jawline.
All right, this is a holiday tale.
Yeah, it is a little dark. Just wait till we get to the cemetery scene.
All right, let's just make this easy. All right, Ebenezer.
It's Loganezer.
Scrooge is visited by 3 ghosts. They teach him that he needs to keep the season in his heart all year round and to find the good in others.
It's Tiny Peter Pool.
Peter Pool does not die.
Oh, good.
Scrooge pays to get him healed up, and they become pals. Loganezer is true to his word and is a better man. I guess, basically, the story teaches us that we should be kinder to our fellow men and to use the season to remind us of those less fortunate. and to overall be less of a jerk.
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm the one with the single tear running down my cheek. Oh, Wolfie!
Oh boy. Oh, okay. All right. It's not
You
good.
see, children, the spirit of the season can live deep inside of all of us. Even an old, and I really do mean old, miserly, furry, ugly.
Watch it.
Even old Logie Bear can have a soft spot. Oh, this is my favorite part of the story, my chum. And then little tiny Peter Pool waddles over to old Loganezer.
It's just necessary.
Thank you for healing me, Loganezer. He looks up at Loganezer's chiseled jawline, grips onto his manly quads, and says, God of thunder, bless us! Everyone, Logie Bear.
Come on, yeah.
And they all lived happily ever after. Especially because this story has been rehashed and merchandised dozens of times over the years. It's what we like to call in the business easy money.
All right, so that's it?
I don't know. I feel like we might have time for maybe one little carol.
I told you no singing.
Oh, that's a shame. You've got such perfect pitch and illustrious vibrato. Maybe a couple bars of, oh, come, all ye faithful.
No.
All right, well, I guess old Scrooge's blood sugar's getting low. Maybe we should get you some hot cocoa and maybe some chocolate chip cookies, Wolfie. Does that sound good? All right, happy holidays, everyone. Wolfie.
Bah humbug.
Wolfie.
Just kidding. Happy holidays.
Thank you, everyone, and especially thank you to Disney Plus.
Why do you keep saying Disney
I
Plus?
love Disney Plus, Logie Bear.
Am I not getting paid for something?
I don't know what you're referencing. You want to push me?
Yeah.
When
You
you
know what?
guys
I'm
leave
with
the park, go to Disney Plus when you get home.
Disney Plus.
You know, you're really softening up in your old age, my chum.
Yeah.
By the way, I probably should have mentioned earlier, the ghost of Days of Future Past was actually Johnny Storm.
Is that right?
All of his lines were super vulgar, so I didn't repeat them,
Like
but
what?
now that we're off stage, he said a lot of... Wow, that feels great on my self-esteem. You don't have to stop cheering. You can cheer more if you I love you too, random civilian. Ho, 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 my feisty little elves. Oh, the spirit of the season has taken over me like a rash that simply will not go away. And I'm here to deliver a delightful and not at all inappropriate holiday-themed tale to jingle your holiday bells. Yeah, doesn't that just sound warm and cozy, everyone? Who's ready for another holiday-themed tale pulled straight from the public domain? Oh, well, that's very good to hear. Today's story is actually one of my favorites. It's all about a story of a man in a jolly red suit, and it's brought to you by Disney Plus. You guys can cheer for Disney Plus if you like. That's right, everyone. Disney Plus is paying for this entire thing, so make sure to check out all of the quality programming only available now on Disney Plus. Disney Plus. All right, now that I feel extra dirty, today's story is one of my personal favorites. It's also known as 'Twas the Night a Strange Magical Man Shimmied Down My Tight Little Chimney. I also like to call this a very special episode of Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place. Thank you, one person. Here we go. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through this safe house, not a creature was stirring, Not even a mouse. Not Electra, not Blade, or that weirdo Gambit. Oh, but am I gonna for myself right here? I could not understand it. The stockings and holsters well hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that old Santa Pool soon would be there. Thank you. Wolvie wore his cowl, he waited 20 years to wear it. Peter Pool wore a crop top, and the rest, he just bared it. Oh, Dogpool was nestled all snug in his bed, while visions of face-looking danced in his head. When out on the lawn arose such a clatter, they all leapt from their beds to see what was the matter. Away to the window they flew like a flash. Probably should have said Quicksilver there, huh? For IP-related reasons.
Yeah.
We ripped open the shutters and tore down the sash. Oh, it's because nothing rhymes with Quicksilver. Oh, okay. The snow and the moon reflected on the fresh falling snow. It gave luster of midday to objects below. Okay, this is a very dense poem. Let me just skip a couple pages there, Ed. When what to their wandering eyes should appear but a sleigh and 8 awesome reindeer. There was a fast-talking driver, all red, black, and cool. They knew in a moment it must be Santa Pool. Well, look, everyone, it's one of Santa Pool's furry little elves.
All right, come on, get on this little horse of yours, Bob. And let's
Whoa,
go.
whoa, whoa, whoa. Do not ever call that a horse again. This is a magical, mythical, flying reindeer corner, right? Where's your sense of childish wonderment?
All right, let's wrap this up, okay?
All right. It's kind of a shame to hear you say that. I think you just made the naughty list, actually. You grumpy little gumdrop button, you. Come on, Wolvie, show a little Christmas cheer, why don't you? Do it for all the children and all of the Disney adults. That was like a 90-10 split right there. This guy in the front row right here in the hoodie filming us has been waiting his entire adult life to watch you and I pal around in person like some awesome and terrible buddy cop movie.
Some life, yeah. Okay, fine. Fine. I'm doing this for you, don't worry. I'm not singing any carols, though.
All right, well, we'll see about that. We're all in this together now, Wolvie. All right.
Yeah, sure.
Let's deck these halls. Have a seat now. Good, Wolvie.
Just relax. All right. Santa Claus.
It's Santa Pool. You gotta keep with the magic and the branding.
Santa Pool. His eyes, how they twinkled.
Can you give it, like, any feeling? I thought you were supposed to be a Broadway-trained actor, all right? Come on, let's do it for the children and for that guy in the front row I singled out earlier.
All right. Fine. Only for you, man. Okay. Santa Pool. His eyes, how they twinkled. His dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses. His nose, like a cherry. He had an obnoxious red suit and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. Why would someone have a bowl full of jelly?
Because it rhymes, Wolvie. This is a children's poem. Will you grow up a little bit?
Okay.
And by the way, if you're going to talk about this tummy, you might as well refer it to as my juggergut.
I'm not going to do that. Okay. You spoke not a word. What, you? You're supposed to be, yeah, right. But went straight to his work. He filled all of the stockings like a merry old...
Merc is the line.
He laid a finger aside his nose, and giving a nod up the chimney, he rose.
That's so exciting. Oh, you know what? This is actually the climax of the story, isn't it? This is one of my favorite parts. He mounted his reindeer corn and gave a hearty yee-haw! And away they flew, faster than you ever saw. All right, this is your not line now, Wolvie. Come on now.
And I heard him exclaim as he flew out of sight,
Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Push me, Wolvie.
absolutely not. Wait, that was kind of an abrupt ending. I mean, what about Dogpool and those other weirdos? You never brought them up again.
Fan service, Wolvie. This is the Disneyland Resort registered trademark. It's always fan service. Like bringing back the electrical parade every few years. always a fan favorite. Or those oddball limited time characters we all love so much. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Okay, well, we're done here then. Great. Right.
Yeah, well, I guess we are. I guess we should just continue our merry way, huh?
Yeah.
Happy holidays, everyone. Sponsored by Disney Plus. Deadpool and Wolverine now available to stream on Disney Plus.
All right.
Happy holidays.
Let's go.
Bye. Bye.
That was so cute.